Welcome folks, one and all, to Let's Replay Z, released in 1996 for the PC, with a PlayStation version in 1997, a Saturn version in 1998, and an iOS version a lot later. Developed by the Bitmap Brothers and published by Virgin Interactive on the PC, SCEE for the PlayStation, and GT Interactive for the Saturn, Z is a real-time strategy game about two armies of robots battling to conquer different planets in the Z sector, the Red Army and the Blue Army. You take command of the Red Army, led by Commander Zod, and your objective is to complete 20 levels over 5 worlds to claim domination over the Z sector. Z does things quite a bit differently in the real-time strategy genre compared to other games released at the time, and to this day I haven't found a real-time strategy game that's similar. Not even the sequel. Then again, I don't play that many real-time strategy games because I don't really like this genre. Z is a notable exception. There were two reasons why I wanted Z for my birthday all those years ago. The first being that this game was developed by the Bitmap Brothers, and from playing the Amiga, there were many Bitmap Brothers games that I considered to be my favourite games and still do. The second reason is that this game's all about robots, and robots are awesome. Even then I knew that robots were awesome, and this game has you controlling robots. How cool is that? Before we go into the new game option here, I'm going to say the same warning that I said when I was first Let's Playing this game, and that is that I cannot guarantee that I'll be doing any of these levels with any degree of competence or skill. It's been a long time since I've played this game. You could say my skills are a little rusty. Get it? Rusty? Robots? Never mind, let's just go into a new game and I'll explain some of the mechanics in-game.
See? I told you I knew which way it was.
Well, just look out for the next thing, two-brain.
Oh yeah, right. Now that's what I call catching some seed.
Hey, look, looks like some kind of desert world.
Yeah! Let's go farm some cacti!
Landing 100% successful.
Level 1, Virgin Soldiers, and we're in. These grunts are going to go over here, these grunts are going to go over here, these grunts are going to go over here, and I'm going to change the manufacturing here to Jeeps. And now I have a moment to explain the basics of the game. Your objective is to eliminate the opponent. There are 3 ways to do that. You either destroy all of their units, you get one of your units into their base, or you destroy their base. All 3 of them will give you victory. And you manufacture units using these various buildings that you get in the territories that you capture. We just got a radar system, and the more territories we have, the further the radar system can detect enemies. These grenades that the grunts are using can be used to blow up bits of the scenery, and also can be thrown at enemy vehicles. We're manufacturing units, and we do not have a monetary resource for doing this. We use time. The more territories you have, the faster you can manufacture things, and this 1 here denotes how many stars the building that you're using to construct things is, and that determines what they can manufacture. We need to be careful here because these grunts are going to try and take this territory. We need to be very careful here because these grunts are going to try and take this territory. The infantry units and the vehicles do tend to prefer to go and get territories if they can. Getting the flag gets you the territory. And more importantly, if you decide to take a territory when a thing is very close to being built, you will get all of that manufacturing time. And be very careful there is a grenade flying towards you. This is the only level where there are this few in the types of units. Uh-oh, here comes a Jeep. That is really bad, and we need to hope that we can take this Jeep on. These Jeeps, there we go, the Jeeps are open top, the only vehicle that's open top, which means that you have quite an easy time shooting the driver out of the vehicle. Do we have any more things we need to deal with? We have 1 Jeep coming towards us, and we need to take care of this Jeep before... Oh, there's another Jeep. Excellent. Before I can talk more about the stats in the game and other mechanics. We have enough people here, we should be able to take this on. There we go. And that blew up. Sometimes if a vehicle that is unoccupied takes enough damage, it will mean that it gets destroyed. Also, can you take that, please? Brilliant. Vehicles are less willing to take flags. Infantry units beeline towards them. Right, now that we have a quiet moment, considering the fact that the opponent only has one unit, that Gatling gun, I'm going to talk about the various stats that the units that we have here have. The infantry units are the grunts, the weakest unit in the game for infantry. They have an intelligence of 3, that is quite an important stat, speed of 5, and an armor rating of 1. They're armed with rifles, which have a range of 5, a damage of 2, a fire rate of 8, and they have an overall cost of 1. The Jeep here is the weakest vehicle that you can have in the game. It has a speed of 10, which makes it the fastest vehicle in the game and the fastest unit in the game. I'm just explaining mechanics, Mr. Grunt. We'll finish the level in a moment. They are armed with the machine gun on the back of the Jeep, which has a range of 5, a damage of 1, and a rate of fire of 10, and the vehicle has an armor of 2. The Gatling gun, the one that's on our base there, is basically a stationary Jeep. Intelligence is important because it denotes how well the units react when you're not controlling them, and it also determines how well they can pilot vehicles. All vehicles that are manufactured have grunts in them by default. There are better robots that you can put in Jeeps and various vehicles. The next level will introduce 2 new units, and we'll be going to that level in a moment, after we defeat this Gatling gun. The Gatling gun's pretty good at taking out units, but we have way too many of them. And so victory will be ours. And we win! Onwards to level 2. And we lost the Jeep because of the explosion. It happens.
Okay, boys, we got them surrounded. Let it rip. Go.
All right.
Level 1 completed. Not bad, and my first Warlord ranking. It may very well be my last. Let's go to level 2, shall we?
Your turn to pick the music. Cool. Yes. Ah! No problem. I got everything under control.
Nice landing.
As ever.
Level 2 Psychos, and oh my, seeing that cutscene there makes me smile. Let us save here, shall we? Press OK, and an empty slot should be sufficient. We need to act quickly, because this level introduces 2 new units, the Light Tank and the Psycho. The Psycho can only be built in a 2-star facility. We want to very quickly get the Jeeps manufactured here. You can actually get the people manning guns out of their respective guns. And infantry units can go through water. Here is the Light Tank. The Light Tank has some quite decent stats. It has a speed of 7, it's slower than the Jeep. It also has an armor of 6, a range of 5, a damage of 4, and a fire rate of 7. And vehicle facilities like this can manufacture light tanks. We want to ideally get this middle territory here if we can, and we're going to use this Jeep to do so. And while we have this grunt here, we'll move that grunt over there, we're going to build a Psycho unit. And we're going to have them continuously build Psycho units. Let's just take this here if we can, because right now, they have more territories than us. We'll just move you out of the way, and that should be sufficient. We'll just take care of you, and be very mindful of where their tank is going to pop up. I get the feeling they're going to send their tank in this direction. For now, though, let's just grab this territory. Move the grunts over here, and keep the jeep over here. They were building a jeep, we'll switch that to a light tank. The enemy AI likes to... we're also going to blow these up. Blowing up the grenades is a good idea because it stops the enemy from using them. You can also blow up the grenades for... I accidentally blew up some of my grunts, but that is something that you can never really predict. Also, notice that the vehicle factory there has a 100% health. Also, we need to move this out of the way because of the fact that that happened. Because the pilot of the vehicle decided to pop his head out, which means that we're in a bit of bother. Fortunately, we should be able to deal with this. There we go. We don't have a unit that can take that yet, though, the jeep or the light tank. Let's move our grunts over as quickly as we can, and keep our eyes peeled on you. You could try something sneaky. The light tank is on the move, and we ideally want to have a light tank ready to counter that. The Psycho is slightly better than the Grunt. In fact, in many ways, the Psycho is better than the Grunt. Has an intelligence of... Ooh, brilliant. Here are some Grunts. We'll move them over here. Has an intelligence of 4, speed of 5, much like the Grunt. Everything infantry-wise in the First World has a speed of 5, an armor of 2. The machine gun has a range of 5, like the Grunt's rifle, a damage of 1, which is slightly lower, but a rate of fire of 10, and an overall cost of 2. I have no idea what you're doing just standing there, and we lost a territory. That is to be expected, because of the fact that we had to move people over. We have a jeep. The jeep is going to go, most certainly, over here. I've no idea what you're doing going in that direction, but we'll just take this territory back and change the manufacturing back over. Oh no, we don't need to. They kept that. Right, you're going up... Ooh, the tank is going this way. That's a little concerning. Can we deal with a light tank using 2 jeeps? Maybe. Light tanks can destroy jeeps in 2 shots. Let's go. See if we can deal with this. See if you can shoot. Yes! You shot out the driver, and that's exactly what I wanted. Right, what we want is we want an infantry unit to get that tank. Shooting out the pilot is a really good thing if you can manage it. And here we have some Psychos. The Psychos can always win a fight with a jeep. They'll always win. And looks like we're going to have 2 jeeps. Brilliant. We're doing rather well here. The enemy like to be quite aggressive, whereas I prefer to play a defensive game. And generally, playing a defensive game tends to work out a lot better than playing an offensive game. We're also about to have a light tank here. The first one that we've ever manufactured. It definitely will not be the last. We'll be manufacturing a lot of them in this level and this world. The second world will start manufacturing some different things. We're just going to stay there. We have... You're meant to be going over... No, you're going over there. Never mind. You stay over here, Psychos. You would be a slightly better pilot for the various vehicles, or driver rather, but I prefer to keep you here. Ready to deal with any grunts that happen to... Ah, you're going that way, are you? Let's deal with that, shall we? And have our first light tank that we've manufactured. We're already doing quite well. The game is going to go further in the enemy's favour as every level goes on. The reason being is that they tend to start with more units. Note their weapon that is guarding their... Oh, careful. There we go. That's the... Yes, you did indeed say you were under attack. That is evidence there of the Psychos being able to deal with jeeps quite well. Have you noticed the weapon that is guarding the enemy base? It is not the same, by the way, when they decide not to pop the driver out of the top of the vehicle. The light tanks are really good at dealing with those Gatling guns. And we have this territory. Good. This is a gun turret. That's what it's called, the gun turret. Has a range of 5, an armor of 6, which equals the light tank here. Damage of 5, which is better, and a rate of fire of 5. The light tank has a speed of 7, armor of 6, and the range of 5, damage 4, and rate of fire 7. Light tanks are generally stronger than jeeps, but they are slower, and they fire less frequently. You'll notice that with most of the vehicles as we go on in this game, that, ooh, they have a light tank. Well, soon they're not even going to have that, because we're going to send a small force up here. And by a small force, I mean maybe 4 jeeps, 2 light tanks, and all of those grunts. Let's go. They're gone, and we'll take care of you as we move these psychos over here, and these grunts over here. And I think that combat is, yep, over and we lost. The explosions from the various tanks do have splash damage. Something to note, and we cannot currently repair our vehicles, so we're just going to take this territory. Oh, those are psychos. Need to watch out for them. Need to watch out for them. There we go. And we'll then move over here. And we have one more jeep. Good. A little bit messy, but we were still victorious. And the game is telling us, hey, you know what? You should totally go for the victory here. And I'm sure we will. Your grunts? If the radar can highlight over the, rather is in the range of the units that you're hovering over, it will tell you what those units are. We'll take this territory too. And we're pretty much going to go for the win on this level in a moment. The central base here doesn't get better manufacturing potential until you move to another world. It's going to be a 1-star place until then. Are we ready to take this on? We'll certainly try. They only have 3 units left and they're all turrets. That's probably going to be, yep, a loss there, but not here. Okay, what were you manufacturing over here? A Gatling gun. We will cancel that. It does mean that we lose all the progress, but I'd rather not have that. Okay, grunts here. You might as well go over here. Clicking on the radar will move you to that location. Let's just go and finish this off, shall we? We do have lots of units. We're going to have even more in a moment. Okay, we can get this Gatling turret if we move the tank over to here. And then we just have that gun turret to take care of. The gun turret is very dangerous though. You won't be able to make them yourself until World 2. Also, if they can, vehicles prefer to go on roads. Let's just get you here. There we go. And now we have a tank here. I'm pretty sure if we send all of our tanks, we can take care of this turret here. Indeed, we shall go for it. You don't need to encourage me, vehicle driver. Let's just go. We'll amass all of our units here, and we'll send them out. We don't need to get many shots off. The problem with the gun turret is that it's really powerful. Case in point, look at that damage. Look at that damage. But we were victorious. Goodbye, tank. Your sacrifice was not in vain. Level 2 done.
See? I told you this should be a nice little holiday for us.
Great. Shame it's so goddamn noisy.
Hey, as long as we're out of danger, who cares? Enjoy! Yeah, me too. You two, get your lard asses into gear and get that ship mobilized. This sector is secured. All enemy units have been eliminated. Wow, a total wipeout. Cool.
Level 2 cleared. Warlord ranking attained. Let's go to level 3.
Let me drive, huh?
No. Okay, dude, let's go.
There is a lot of sand out there, man.
Autopilot landing 100% successful.
Level 3, Death Valley. And that's Brad and Alan. We saw them in the introduction in every single cutscene. They are delivering shipments to the various sectors, where the Red Army are attempting to take the various pieces of territory, with the Blue Army trying to stop them. And when we come back, folks, we will start Level 3. You'll notice that Level 3 has an even number of territories. 10. So we can get the same amount of processing time as the opposing force, but we're going to tip things slightly in our favour. And notice, we start with a light tank this time. The light tank has a very specific task. And also notice that the red dots here signify where your territory is, and the grey dots signify that nobody owns them. Grey territories tend not to last very long because, of course, they get taken. And so, I'll catch you next time, folks, and I'll see you then. Later.